Hey guys, we've planned something a little bit special this time. And you know what? It's going to be a bit of a masterclass. A masterclass for everybody who wants to start an Amazon FBA business. I mean, we have our two own brands as well. But Jonny from Seller Pro Academy, he just offered to say, you know what? Let's do a masterclass together. And we thought, why not? So don't let me talk for too long. Let me hand this over to Jonny. Jonny, give a quick introduction. We got about like close to 30 minutes. Let's go with section number one. Show us how to start an FBA business.
Thank you so much, Sebastian. I'm really happy to be able to present to you guys, to all your viewers, and hopefully give them some value, give them something that they're maybe not seeing online on YouTube already. But I started in, actually, let me share my screen. I'll go through this,
Sure.
and this is going to be the best way to do it. I never know if I full screen it, if it's actually going to show. So I'm just going to keep the slides on the side.
It shows pretty much
That's
on full
me. That's
screen. Yeah.
my ugly face. So and there's some of my clients behind. I've got a little award in my hand. So these are awards we give out to our clients that make their first 10,000, 100,000, and £1 million selling online. Primarily work in the UK. So I'm the founder of the Seller Pro Academy. Some people call me the Amazon guy because I know they can't remember my name. Our clients have generated about 25 million in sales since I started helping them. And really we focus in like starting, scaling, and exiting. But today I really wanted to show you, look at these awards. Oh, they're lovely. I wanted to just
They're beautiful. Are they
make sure
real?
they're real. Yeah, look, I've got them down here. So
Nice.
they're all down there. So they're made by the same company that do like the Formula One trophies, the BAFTAs. So they're really high quality, and it's a nice little reward for people when they hit a financial milestone. You'll know as a brand owner, when you hit like your first 100,000 or first million, no one's patting you on the back. Like no one's going, well done. You're like, you see the number, you have this big deflated, okay, cool. Well, what's
Correct.
next? Yeah. um, so that's good. So what I wanted to do today is help some of your audience really just make sure they understand. So we're on the same playing field of what FBA actually is, because you'll have tons of clients that sell on Shopify, they sell on other
Mm.
e-commerce platforms and haven't leveraged it yet. And then really, if you're going to start an Amazon FBA private label business, like how do you actually get the products? So these are the two things we want to discuss. We'll have plenty of time to go for it. And I have a big freebie at the end for everyone. So there'll be a QR code on screen and people can scan it and they can
Well,
get some
actually, we
free.
currently, since we're using this Zoom link, mine one is limited to 40 minutes, 28 minutes. Here we go.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, so we're on the same page. What is Amazon FBA? Now, you guys, you know all about getting products manufactured, you know about shipping, all that sort of stuff. But where Amazon FBA kicks in is this bit here. So your products are shipped to an Amazon warehouse. They're all over the world. And then when a customer buys the product on Amazon, they're going to pick, pack, and post the product to the customer, and then they'll deal with the return. So it's very simple. FBA, when people say, "Oh, I'm going to do Amazon FBA," really what they're saying is they're going to create a brand, they're going to create a business, but they're going to leverage this logistics system that Amazon have, which is very, very, very good. And all it means is that you don't have to have a physical shop, warehouse. You don't have to go to the post office every day. You don't have to hire staff to run the business in a warehouse. You don't have to build a website like on Shopify and worry about all the apps and all the like Google ads and Facebook ads. Amazon are doing that for you. Um, they're going to do everything on that back end. And actually, there was an interview with the CEO of Amazon, not old Jeff Bezos, because he's obviously taking a holiday, but 40% of the sales globally on e-commerce goes through Amazon, which is absolutely ridiculous. 60% of the sellers on Amazon are third-party sellers. I think the average earnings per seller is 232 or 230 something thousand dollars per year, which is absolutely crazy. So there's the opportunity there. There's a lot of demand from customers going to Amazon that could be buying your products, but if you're not putting them on Amazon to buy, then potentially you're saying goodbye to 40% of your customers or potential customers. And of course, Amazon is growing. Like they're a pretty big company. The last time that I looked, and they're going to be continuing to grow as people, especially after COVID, really leverage Amazon. Like my mum, for example, prior to COVID, didn't use Amazon, never done it before. After COVID, it's like something's turning up every day at her house, right? And I'm sure that's a story that a lot of people have gone through. And I love this saying, right? this means that you can scale your business by leveraging Amazon's powerhouse. So here we go. So they can fulfill your dreams, not just your orders too. Do you like that one?
Yep.
No. Yeah. Now, all right, this is a question for you, Sebastian. So from your experience with building a brand, you've obviously seen many people do this. What would you think prevents most people from actually getting started?
Well, once you have a product ready, that you probably didn't pick the right product. If you have like low
Yeah,
class
exactly.
product or whatever, low competition, I mean, it could be both, like low competition, high competition whatsoever. But I mean, one of the biggest challenges for sure is it a market that has potential? Is there a chance still to actually get started and beat whatever competition you have? And another thing to really kick off, one of the main things, images.
Images, absolutely. Well,
I could
you
continue
don't, you
forever,
can't
but
even
I
make good
shouldn't.
images unless you have a product. And the
Yes.
problem is that a lot of people, they can't even find a product.
Yeah.
And this is what we've seen over the past few years of doing this, is that people will go on YouTube, they'll look at how to find a product, they'll start doing that, and they will get stuck, right? And they won't be able to do it because this is what they've been told. And this is what I was told when I got started. And look, in 2017, it worked, but it doesn't work right now. Find a product with high sales or high demand and low competition, essentially low reviews. And I'm sure if there's people watching this, they would have heard this, right?
Mhm.
Um, so just to clarify, so we're all on the same page again, high demand means there's lots of customers buying the product or there's lots of customers searching for the product. If there's no demand, then there's no point, right? We wouldn't open a shop in the middle of nowhere because there's going to be no one shopping there. But low competition means that this is what people mean, that most of the sellers have a low number of reviews. But, or this means, this is supposedly what this means. It becomes easiest to stand out as a new seller as everyone else has low reviews.
Mhm.
So you'll have low reviews at the start. So therefore it's easier for you to stand out, which,
Mhm.
look, granted, that does make sense. However, I actually don't agree with this, like fundamentally, because I have this little like devil on my shoulder. I call him Captain Common Sense, right? And Captain Common Sense says that, look, any product that has a high demand, lots of people wanting to buy the product, either will have right now or eventually will have high competition, right? Because if there's money to be made, people will take advantage of that. They will find a way to take those sales. You're not going to be there forever with everyone with no reviews, right? There will be competition long term. And if you're not building your business for that competition in mind, you'll end up doing well for a little bit. And then other people come in and do better than you. They'll make better images. They'll have a better product. They'll have, better manufacturers, whatever it may be. Eventually, you'll see a decline in sales, and now that will be the end of your business if you don't
I've
adapt and pivot.
succeeded with this in some of my products as well. Yeah. The same way
And
as you
it does
described.
look, it does happen. Like you think, oh,
Of
this is a
course.
great idea right now, but do you know what? In 3 years' time, is it still
Yeah.
going to be a good idea? And ultimately, if we want to sell a business, we want to be able to show that it can continue on without you, right? So that it's desirable for a buyer. And actually, this is really hard to find nowadays. It did work in the olden days, right? Of Amazon FBA. And look, that is honestly why loads of people that take courses on FBA, they look on YouTube, they never get started because they cannot find these products, right? So my warning for everyone is just don't fall into that trap. So you have two options. One, not be able to find a product, eventually give up, or use a method that works regardless of this competition, this number of reviews. Well, look, I happen to have one, but at the moment, from your perspective, because you would see this all the time, right? Would it be fair to say that a common sentiment among existing sellers is the harder the product, the better?
If demand is there,
If
yes.
demand is, yeah, absolutely. So if it's like something that's big and heavy, or it's sharp or breakable, or it's electronic or whatever, that's not a reason not to do something anymore,
It
because
is a very good reason to actually do it.
exactly, yeah, this is precisely the point. It increases the barrier to entry, which means that a lot of the people that are kind of starting, they just don't even do it. And you have people that are more seasoned, they're a bit more switched on, they're not doing crazy high bids on PPC because they don't know how to run it. Everyone's just a little bit more reasonable, and it's a bit easier to stand out.
May I
um
may I
yeah,
add
yeah,
one
yeah, go.
quick reason? It's, by the way, it's really cool how you do this. You have this prepared. but you let me interact there as well. I want to give you an example. For sure, in the beginning, when it's your first product, it may be very difficult to get like into highly complicated product. But we had several of our clients, of course, the ones that have done sourcing, and they got in there and they started some of the products, and then they later came back to us and was like, "Julia, Sebastian, I don't care what kind of product you give me. Make sure it needs the most certificates ever needed,
Yeah.
because I'm gonna keep those competitors off my back. They will not take, like you say, the barrier of entry. They will not jump over it, and they will not go for it. I'm gonna be one of the only ones in there, and well, then by that, then later you can also kick out others who don't have compliant
Oh,
products.
yes. Yeah, absolutely. And you know, that could just be things like the right like UKCA certification for the UK, or it could be some sort of directive that needs to be have a certificate for it, or it needs to, if it's a food product, it needs to have, you know, a lot of levels of care and attention. And yeah, ultimately, a beginner, they're not going to go to that effort. And a lot of people are generally lazy, so they're not going to do that, which is exactly why you should do that, right?
Yeah.
And those are the long-term businesses that end up doing really well. So generally, and this is a question for you, what happens when, and what are the benefits when you work long term with a supplier?
You create a great relationship. You have possibilities of, getting extra benefits which they wouldn't grant to everybody else they don't know. You can have great prices. You know that you're gonna take additional products of him. You're building a friendship, and all of a sudden it's not business anymore. You can fully trust in the person, and you say, whatever, Michael, hey, I need this and that product. Can you actually, on the other hand, it's like, you know what? Could you start producing? I'll pay you later, and stuff like this may happen as well.
Oh
There's
yeah.
so many benefits.
And we know that like logistics is the killer for a lot of businesses, right? So if you can't get your logistics right or your payment terms right for your cash flow, I mean that could end your business. You could be doing well one month, and then next month I've got no money because, you know, it's all with my supplier and I've not got
Got
those products
delayed
yet.
payment terms, and you can create a positive cash flow. Put
Exactly. So
order,
it
order,
makes
order.
sense. It makes sense to not do these like quick little products. It makes sense to have this longevity, so you can build a relationship. It's not going to be overnight, but certainly over the period of 4, 5, 6, 7, 10 orders with the supplier, you can really build, you know, a good relationship. Um, and you know, like you said, you end up with the best relationships. You'll get the best margins. You'll get the best payment terms. You'll be able to grow, like knowing that they actually have your back and they want you to succeed as well, rather than they're just in it for the money of seeing how much profit they can make per carton that they
I mean,
ship to you, right?
the last one,
Um,
even they want you to be succeeding because, the more business you make, the more business they make. So it's not
exactly.
only
And
their internal drive, it's really still also about their own money.
yeah, well, exactly. And once you know, and once you're both on the same playing field of like, hey, look, we make money, you make money, and let's keep growing together,
Mhm.
then that's the best place to be. And the other thing about working long term with one product is that you can actually get feedback from customers, and you're incentivized to improve your products, and you have the relationship to improve your product because the supplier also wants to improve it, because they also know if we have a better product, we'll take more market share from other people that don't have that particular feature. And look, every year you might get some, like a WhatsApp message or a WeChat message saying, hey, look, we've developed this new feature, this new product, would you like to try it out? Like that's the sort of relationship that you really want, right?
Yeah.
And ultimately the main thing is that we don't want to release product after product after product after product, because that takes a huge amount of time and effort. We want to, and scale horizontally, we want to go vertically and go deeper into the product niches that we already have. So you can do the like the protein shaker with the one that spins round, or a different lid from the same supplier. So again, you can reduce the amount of time you're spending doing the work and further maintain, you know, a really great relationship. And you can do that for years, right? Um, so look, in the academy, we don't focus on the number of reviews, like I said, and as an indicator of success. Just like if you wanted to open up an accountancy firm in your local area, you wouldn't go on Google reviews and go, oh well, they've got 1,000 reviews, that other one. There's no way I'm going to be able to start up my own if they've got a lot of reviews already. You know, we don't worry about the electronic products, heavy products, big ones, small ones, restrictions, gated categories, you know, all the things that people go, oh my God, I can't do this. Because like you said, it's a barrier to entry that we can just go, well, we'll do that. It's not actually not that hard to get all those things. And then we can create that opportunity. But we focus on three areas, right? Yes, there has to be demand in the market. No point selling a product if no one's going to buy it. But then it's identifying an opportunity to stand out within three areas: marketing, branding, and then the offer. So the marketing is really about, I mean, it's 80% about the first image on Amazon. Is how do you just get attention when you search for the product? You can see a whole bunch of running vests. Well, they all look pretty much the same. How do we stand out and get attention?
A
We
pattern
know,
break.
go on, sorry.
A pattern break.
Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. And the way I like to think about this is attention is a limited resource. You know, we don't have unlimited attention. And if you can get someone's attention, then you're halfway there to making the sale, probably even more than halfway there to making the sale. But if you don't get the attention, you're never going to get a click, your PPC won't work, and ultimately your competitors will make the money and not you. So finding an opportunity within that hero image and then the rest of the kind of 6 images in the carousel where you can communicate the features and benefits with more clarity than other people, then you're trying to increase your click-through rate, getting more clicks, and your conversion rate, both of which Amazon love. And then they'll give you that boost in BSR, that sweet juice that you need to be able to do well on Amazon, right? And all of those things help your marketing work better as well. So if you can find an opportunity there, and normally you can, tick, right? Good. We like that. Next one, branding. I mean, how many times have you seen on Amazon, you look at the brand and it's like QX1Z brand, and you're like, what?
Where does he come from?
Yeah, what is that? How do I even say that? And ultimately, people nowadays, they want to trust, they want to know, like, and trust who they're buying from. There needs to be a lot more transparency with that. And if you have two people next to each other, you know, this really lovely, well presented brand compared to something that looks kind of hashed together, some spelling mistakes maybe, you know, who are you going to choose? And even if they're a few pounds more expensive, you're probably going to go with the person that's more trustworthy. So if there's an opportunity within their branding, absolutely tick box there as well. And then the offer, and this isn't necessarily about like product bundling. So this was big, you know, 5 years ago. You'd bundle everything with everything, and it's not about that. It's trying to create an offer where they get the product and it solves the customer's needs or wants better than someone else's. If that's through a better instruction manual, if that's through something with the product that's digital or physical, it's allowing the customer to make better use of the product so that they are happier with the use of the product. So then they tell their friends and they leave a review. And the filter I would always use for this is, when your customer receives your product, what's the experience of unboxing it? Is it happy, or is it, oh, it's just in a like a poly bag? Oh, okay, well, this isn't as good as I thought it would be. And when they have dinner that night, are they telling their friends or their family at the dinner table, oh, you never guess what I got today? Like this, that, and the other. Or there's actually like a discount code for another one, whatever. If you can create those conversations with your customers, you're onto a winning product, because you get the power of promotion, which through people, which is free. And of course, source the product profitably. Don't lose money on the sourcing. And then craft your product, packaging, marketing to a very high standard. So use that filter of, could this, and then I'm in the UK. So if I said to people in the UK, like, could it be shown in John Lewis, then like the retail store, then if the answer is yes, then you've done it to a high quality. You know, if it's in Poundland or like the dollar store, maybe not, right? Maybe we're not quite at the standard where we want to be. But doing this is not expensive. If you have a good design brief for your product, if you have 3D renders, which again aren't too expensive, you can have things done really, really for a high quality, but without breaking the bank, without spending thousands and thousands on developing that product.
I think that's a
Do you
lot of
think that's
what
fair to say?
I was about to say. Yeah, I think there's a lot of things that even our own customers, our own audience doesn't really know that we actually do that. I mean, packaging for us is a basic for our product, and packaging design. We brought our own first brand into more than 1,000 big box retail stores or the high street stores in the UK ourselves for the first brand, and that's a lot of, you know, always also focus on how can we make the product directly not only ready for Amazon, but ready for retail. And that's where we come in, of course, also with product design, packaging design, sourcing the packaging, so that imagine when it goes to a store, the product itself must sell itself. Those are the 7
Yes.
images you have. That's the front page of your product packaging, because it's smiling at you, hopefully, from the shelf.
Oh, I love that. And yeah, absolutely. Again, in a store, when you've got tons of other options, how do you get someone to pick your
Correct.
product? And it's all about how it looks and how it feels. But ultimately, at the bottom line, we need a product that has demand. You can stand out with its marketing. It's a brand that can be unique and trusted. It's actually good, right? It actually works. It's profitable and customers love it. If you're able to hit those markers, then generally speaking, we see people have a lot of success. But how do we actually do it now? We don't have enough time to go through this today, but we've got something. It's a database called the Product Opportunity Database. So I'd like to give it to free to everyone. And I'm also going to actually give you a walkthrough on this. So it's about an hour's long. So it'll tell you how to fill it out. And if you were doing this, it goes through all of these different areas. So you can find the opportunity just on a spreadsheet. So it's kind of idiot proof. And then at the end of it, you should go, right, this product is a good idea or it's a bad idea. And you can continue on to the sourcing stage, or you can ditch it and go back and find another one. So there's going to be 2 QR codes. This first one, so if people can pause this and they could scan that QR code, that's going to be the masterclass that actually walks through how to do it, how to actually use this. And then the second one is going to be the actual Google Sheets document that you can go to. You go file, make a copy, and then you can save it onto your own Google Drive and use it, anytime you want to, duplicate it for every new product you want to do. So that, I think we've hit this in record time. So I just want to say thank you. Thank you for letting me
That
do
was
that.
fast.
This was one of our events earlier in the year, got all our, or some of our clients together. I was quite happy, clearly. But
I
I hope
can
that's been
tell, yeah.
really,
And if it
really
doesn't work, you're
valuable
just gonna
for,
eat them, yeah.
yeah, I'm just gonna like, yeah, that's it. But I hope that was valuable to everyone watching, and it can bring a lot of help to people when they're going on their own journey.
I think that was pretty neat. Jonny, thank you very much. I mean, this is definitely interesting, quite sure, for people who are starting, who want to know about FBA. Thanks so much for sharing about this. It's nice that you do this that open. And again, tell me a
Absolutely.
bit about you and the Seller Pro. It's an academy, right? You're not a marketing agency. You are a academy or an academy in the UK,
Yeah.
teaching,
So we
showing how to do FBA or
FBA. So
FBM or anything.
we really focus on the UK market, and then once we have people established in that market, then they can expand to Europe and they can expand to the US. But we found that I live in the UK, so I know that market very well. Um, I started back in 2017. I created a YouTube channel just documenting what I was doing, because at the time there wasn't really like any UK people talking about private labeling. It was all American people, and like whilst the information was there, it just wasn't as relevant to me. Living in like Watford in the UK. So I started documenting that, and then lots of people came to ask me questions. I realized that I don't know a lot of the answers, so I started figuring out what everything was. And over time, that led to helping people do it. It then led
Nice.
to an academy to help people do it. And now we've helped a ton of huge number of people that have done really, really well. Like just the other day, I was meeting up with some of our clients, our 7-figure students, and one of them started his business. 2 years later, sold it to the Razor group, the
Hmm.
aggregator.
Hmm.
And in the meantime, he started up 2 more FBA businesses, because why not? I can just rinse and repeat it. And that's really good to see. So we really want to help people build brands. That's the most important thing. We don't mess about in wholesale or retail arbitrage or anything like that. It's really about building a brand, because that has that sale potential. Um, from the very beginning of, I know nothing about Amazon, I know nothing about branding, I know nothing about business, to the point where you could be making 7 or multiple 7 figures per year with those strategies.
Yeah.
um if people want to learn more about me, then the best thing to do is just send me a message on something like Instagram. I try to get back to everyone there. My handle is Jonny Bradley UK. That's my name, and that's where I live, basically. So it's nice and easy to remember. And look, if someone just wants a bit of help with their Amazon listing, or they want to help with their e-commerce brand, just send me a message and I'll see if there's any way that I can support and I can help.
I think that's much appreciated. Thank you so much, Jonny, for that. That's pretty cool. And I'm quite sure somebody will knock on his door.
That's fine. Yeah, maybe not out on the actual door, though. That might be weird. But yeah, thank you, Sebastian, for having me. You know, it's really great to work with you guys. You also give out a ton of value all the time, and I'm looking forward to continuing to work with you in the future.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Do me a favor. One more thing. When you think
Yeah.
about startups, what would you, if you look back, what is that one thing where you say, all right, do this or don't do that?
Okay, so the good thing is I've got the data to back this up from people that have done nothing to people that have done really well. So it's not just my like anecdotal evidence. This is from the data of a lot of people, and it comes down to something really simple, and that's just consistency. If
Nice.
you put 4 hours in on a Saturday, it's not as good as doing half an hour per day, 5 days a week. So consistency is the thing that will get you where you need to be.
Nice. That's a good one. And I think this applies to many things. Same as, of course, with social media. Thank you so
Absolutely.
much for that.
Thank you.